Welcome into the portal. This is where we have a blend of nervous system regulation, identity shifts, and soulful strategy to help you scale without the spiral. So if you feel like you're stuck in hustle lately, you're working harder, you're overthinking every move, and you're still not getting the results you desire, this is for you. So today we're talking about how to go from hustle to harmony because we need to create a balance that supports you scaling your business without burning out your nervous system in the process. So take a deep breath and let's begin. Now let's name the truth. Hustle has been normalized in business culture. We're taught that more hours, more effort, more content equals more results. But here's what's actually happening behind the scenes for many entrepreneurs. So the first thing is they're scaling their businesses, but they're exhausted. So this is when you are showing up for every meeting, every client call, every post, but inside your body is running on fumes. And the more the business grows, the more depleted you feel. So what started as a dream is now more like a job, and rest feels more like a luxury that you haven't earned. And this isn't due to a lack of passion. It's just that we've been conditioned to believe that hustle is the only path to success. So if you're not getting up at 5 a.m. and working your fingers to the bone until 10 p.m., then you're not doing enough. They're also hitting income milestones, but they feel numb. And I can definitely resonate with this because the PayPal notifications are rolling in. The launch was technically a success and you hit those revenue goals, but emotionally, you flatline. You are tapped out. There's no celebration. There's no sense of expansion. There's just this quiet voice that says, I thought this would feel better. So when success isn't built from alignment and safety, it doesn't land. It doesn't nourish you. It simply becomes the next milestone to chase when you ultimately desire to build a business that brings you pleasure, not pressure. So that brings me to my next point of showing up every day, but from a place of pressure and not presence. Now, this is when all the things are happening. The content is posted, your stories are updated, the emails are sent out, but it all feels like performance. Okay, like your body is tense, your voice is tight, the outside looks polished, but on the inside, you're buzzing with anxiety. Now, all of this stems from the pressure to stay relevant, which overrides the desire to be real. So essentially, presence has been replaced by productivity and authenticity is buried under obligation. So why is all this happening? It's because a lot of us are still operating in survival mode. And when you think about it, hustle is just a trauma response in disguise. It's a protective mechanism that we've internalized that says, I have to do more to prove I'm enough. If I slow down, I'll lose momentum. Rest isn't safe. I'll fall behind. And honestly, this type of mindset is draining and it disconnects you from your power. I have told myself all of these things before, but for as long as I can remember, I have been anti-hustle. I do not believe in hustle culture at all because I don't believe that we have to overextend and stress ourselves out to get to the next level. So let's talk about the real root, which is your nervous system. Now, if your body doesn't feel safe with success, more visibility, or higher income, it will find a way to sabotage or slow things down no matter how solid your strategy is. So here's what this looks like. Freezing before launches. The offer's ready, the plan is mapped out, but as soon as it's time to go live or open up the cart, the freeze starts to set in. Suddenly everything becomes terrifying. Visibility seems more like a threat than an opportunity. And instead of launching in confidence, you start to stall, you start tweaking things, you even ghost your own strategy. This is a nervous system that is stuck in fear. It also looks like overthinking every piece of content. So every post becomes a mental battleground. Is it too much? Is it enough? Should I rephrase this? Are they going to judge me by this? So now all these questions are going on in your mind, and it turns into hours and hours spent on captions that never even get posted. Now, this isn't perfectionism. This is a fawn response disguised as strategy. And when your nervous system isn't regulated, every decision you need to make feels like a risk to your safety. Now, what about undercharging and over delivering? Guilty. You're incredible at what you do, but your pricing doesn't reflect it. Because deep down, receiving feels unsafe. So you compensate this by giving more than you have capacity for, hoping to justify the value. Now, this isn't a pricing issue. This is an energetic boundary collapse that leads straight to burnout. And struggling to rest even when you're exhausted. So, even when the schedule is clear, your nervous system is not. Rest feels more unproductive, indulgent, even dangerous. So instead of unplugging, you do more. You start scrolling on social media. You start planning the next thing. This chronic activation keeps the body in a loop of hypervigilance, which does not allow restoration. Your body has a right to rest. Your capacity to scale isn't just about time or tools. It's about your ability to hold more without crossing that threshold into a state of overwhelm. And that starts with regulation. Now let's take a look at what harmony looks like, because we all need to create this balance. So the first thing is regulating before you pitch, price, or post. So before you step into visibility, before you name that price, before you hit publish or post, take some deep breaths, do some grounding rituals, do some body movements to bring yourself back to safety. Because when your nervous system is settled, your energy is more clear and your decisions come from truth and not trauma. You make decisions from overflow and not urgency. Urgency is often a trauma response. Overflow is a regulated state. So when you're grounded, you don't chase opportunities, you choose them. You make aligned decisions that honor your capacity and your vision. You also stop leaking energy and you start leading with clarity. Now, when your creativity is powered by adrenaline, everything feels chaotic, rushed, and heavy. But alignment brings lightness and ease. So instead of pushing your content out under pressure, channel messaging that feels like it resonates, it feels magnetic, it feels like it's rooted in your real voice, because that's what's going to convert. We need to get to a point where we can rest without guilt and still make money. This is the new paradigm. You get to rest and receive. You get to take a break and still get booked out. Guilt-free rest is possible when your body feels safe enough to pause. This isn't about you being lazy. This is about trusting that your regulated state is more potent than any hustle could ever be. So if you do nothing else, anchor overflow as the goal. Stop glorifying busy and start choosing overflow as your metric for success. This is the portal to sustain it, and I'm so glad you're here for it. I'm Cheryl Janeen, and until next time, lead with power, presence, and peace. You got this.